Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for ICONversations. Today, we have 5 of our amazing icons here to bring to you the most amazing information you will ever receive. ICON represents the top 3 to 6% of earners globally at eXp Realty. It is a production achievement award given out to the few. It is top shelf. And today, from Washington, we have Donna Roberts. From Florida, we have Roberto Paredes. From Tennessee, we have Marty Burnett. From California, we have Sunny Randir Singh. And from South Carolina, we have Jeanette Womble. Jeanette, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to have everybody here today. I'd like to get started with having each of our panel members take a moment to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from. Sunny, would you like to start the conversation?
Yes, Jeanette. So I am Sunny, and my full name is Sunny Randir Singh. I'm from California, southern part of California. And with eXp, I'm 3.5 year real estate license holding from last 4.5 year or 4 year actually. And I love real estate. Before real estate and my past life, I was in a hotel industry with my wife. So we are still in that industry also, as well as the real estate. So this is all about me.
Thank you, Sunny. Marty, would you like to go next?
Sure. I am Marty Burnett. I've been in real estate 20 plus years, started out at RE/MAX, then to Keller Williams, which I think I was there for 10 years. We were owners there, sold out, and then been with eXp. So I think we've been here 4 or 5 years. I ICONed every year. I work with my husband, who is a builder of 25 plus years. We've had big teams, we've had small teams, and just love this crazy life that this real estate industry brings. Always something different.
I remember from last week, you and I have some similar paths that we've walked in the industry. So thank you for that. Roberto, nice to meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. My name is Roberto Paredes. I'm originally from Colombia. I've been living here in Florida for the last 10 years. In the industry, I think I'm the newest one. I've been only with my license 1 year. This is my first year. So I'm happy and glad to be here.
Well, congratulations on your success in your first year.
Thank you.
Donna, would you like to share with us next?
Hi, I'm Donna Roberts. I'm located here in Camas, Washington. We're right on the border, so we're a dual licensed team here. I'm a managing broker of a team. We have 6 agents and 2 admin, and we are now a branch office here. So we're Washington and Oregon, and I've been in the business almost 20 years now.
That's amazing. It goes by quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I've been in for 20 myself, so it's incredible how quickly time flies. Well, let's jump right in and get started. Starting off, I'd like for everyone to share, in our real estate market, we're seeing a state of constant change, especially this past week. And if each of you could share with us what you've done to navigate the changes, and we'll start with Sunny.
That's a great question. So I take it as change is a way of life. And the real estate market is indeed in a state of constant change, and it's crucial to stay ahead of these shifts. One of the key changes I have been preparing my client for, actually way before this 17th of August. I started educating my clients about the possibility that buyer might be responsible for paying their agent commission, a practice that has been common in other countries for a long time and is now being adopted here in US. By preparing my client mentally and educating them on these changes early on, I have found that they are more accepting and ready to adopt, whether it's arranging for a buyer to pay the commission directly or finding a way to incorporate that into a closing cost. There are always a solution. The key is open communication, making sure clients are well informed so that these changes don't come as a surprise. So whenever change is scary when you're not communicating, but whenever you are communicating, change is never scary.
So it's all about setting expectations up front, it sounds like.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a great way to manage that conversation. Marty, how are you handling it?
So, being in the industry for 20 plus years, change it's just real estate. It's always changing, and I really enjoy that. And I'll be honest, in the state of Tennessee, our buyer reps and seller compensation forms did not change but about 2 lines. And I know it varies from state to state. I know some states are having a little bit more challenges with the changes that have come, but I'm going to be honest, we're not having a ton of change. I've always been wildly open about commissions and how people get paid. That's always been part of the conversation that I've had with my clients. So I'm not seeing a ton of change with it, I'll be honest. And I mean, I think some people in the state of Tennessee specifically, because I know it varies, are making a bigger deal out of it than it was before. I mean, I've talked to my clients about it. I had clients that have asked me about it. And I'm like, you know what? We're still doing business as usual. I'm still going on my listing appointments, telling them what I charge, telling them what their options are, advising them on the way that I feel like they're going to get the most traffic through their house because they do want to sell it. And we're rolling right along. I know, there's all this talk about, calling agents. Are you offering compensation? Are your sellers offering compensation? Whatever that looks like. I'm not calling anybody. I've got a lot of confidence in my negotiation skills. I'm going to roll up, show my client whatever they want to see. And I'm going to negotiate hard for them. And then I'm going to negotiate hard for me. And I'll be honest, in our area, we have seen a lot of fluctuation in commissions over the last, probably year or so, more so than I have in my entire career. And I mean, we've already been negotiating those. If there's compensation offered that I don't think is enough for my standard, I ask for more. And so I don't know that I'll be a lot of help for anybody out of the state of Tennessee, because I don't know how it works in other areas, but it's really not that much different. Couple of lines on our paperwork, but I do love the EXP paperwork. They have simplified it. If you guys haven't looked at the EXP docs, I had a little bit of pushback in my head initially, like a new doc, like why are we pulling away from the state docs? But the EXP docs are on point. My clients love them. They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point. And I think they simplified it, and I love it. So
absolutely,
or not.
And that's really inspiring. A big takeaway there is just to walk with confidence, whether it's with your clients or with other agents that you're working with. Roberto, how have you been navigating this?
Well, for me, it's been not a challenge. I think we have to all adapt, and I see it like an opportunity, right? Because, like I said before, I'm pretty new in the industry, but as soon as I started, I adapted myself to everything. So in this moment, I think for all the new agents and for all the people, it's going to be an opportunity, because we are going to be all level up, all in the same place, starting again. There are some that it's easier for them to navigate those changes, and it's not different of what they have been doing before. But for a lot of people, it's going to be a challenge, and there is where we have an opportunity to, maybe we don't have like 15 years of experience or 10 or whatever, but now if we adapt faster than the other ones, is going to be an opportunity for us.
Well, welcome to the crazy world of real estate. And it sounds like you have a great mindset about moving forward. Donna, how are you managing this?
I'm going to piggyback on a couple things that said. I think evolving is the name of the game in real estate. I think for any business, I always want to be ahead of everyone else, what they're doing. So that means like plugging in and getting educated and reading what you need to read and watching what you need to watch and coaching, understanding that you have to help set the sellers and buyers expectations when you meet with them, and a consultation with them, that conversation. I think Marty might have said that, where you're having a conversation with them. I haven't been getting pushback on either direction. I let the sellers know that this is what's going on in the market, and here's what you may see and here's what you may not see, and we need to be aware of it. And every situation is different based on where these people are coming in and how many people are interested in your property. So just really plugging in to, and I have so many agents I see who haven't even watched the state, the EXP conversations that they're having, explaining what's going on in the market, things with your state attorneys. People aren't plugging in and getting educated on what they need to do, so that it's something that just comes from you because you understand, instead of being a deer in the headlights. So always evolving is really what we need to do.
I agree. I had noted training and, knowing your market and understanding, a focus on goals. I always try to bring my clients back to defining and focusing on what their goals are. And then, if you have a good strategy to do that, all of the other pieces can fall into place. I know everyone here has achieved ICON status. And one thing I didn't ask you about was, how long have you been an ICON? So going into our next question, if you could share with us how long you've had ICON status for, and then what the biggest impact on your success as an ICON agent has been. And we'll start with Sunny.
Jeanette, ICON, I got it in the month of June this year. And this is my first time being an ICON. And I really feel lucky because, not lucky, actually, I think lucky is the right word. Because the thing is, this was my goal actually in 2023 when I started my new year with EXP. And that time I told myself, I met a 7-time ICON agent, and she said it's possible because I am not a full-time agent. I'm a full-time, but I have to manage other businesses. So I have to make sure if I achieve an ICON, I'll be like, okay, I can do this with my 2 hotels managing 98% occupancy also. So that was the one thing. And the one thing that you have said, the biggest impact on my success as an ICON agent and maintaining ICON sales volume is, I learned early in my career, always chase excellence. I have found that when you focus on being excellent in what you do, everything else, whether it's a name, money, fame, award, become a byproduct of that pursuit. Each day, I strive to improve myself, even just a little bit, because I believe the consistent self-improvement naturally leads to success. And additionally, my upbringing in a military family instilled in me the value of hard work, discipline, and dignity of labor. These principles are deeply embedded in who I am, and I apply this in every aspect of my work and my life, and they have been the foundation in helping me maintaining high standard in my career as well in my life.
I think that's great. And, as we heard previously, there are a lot of agents that drop out of this career in the first year to 5 years. And as Warren Buffett said, be the best at your skill, or be the best at what you can do. And if you focus on always being the best and delivering excellence, you can do this for many, many years. Marty, what would you say has had the biggest impact on your success?
You guys, this business is hard, and I love to hear somebody say, like, I'm thinking about getting in real estate, so my schedule can be flexible and I can make tons of money and blah, blah, blah. The thing I love about real estate is there are opportunities there in different ways. And I think what has allowed my husband and I to be successful in real estate over the last 20 plus years is us being flexible. As the market shifts, we shift with it. And being aware that it is always changing and kind of trying to stay ahead of what's happening, whether it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market, it's a balanced market, or, we have a bust, we lived through that bust and had to learn about short sales and foreclosures and all of these things. So, I get bored doing the same thing over and over again. So the shifts and the changes, I love to learn new things. I love to have new challenges and new opportunities to help different people. And I think that is what has kept us successful over the years in real estate. We haven't pinhold ourselves into one type of thing that we do. We've tried to diversify, and we shift as the market ebbs and flows. And if you are not versatile enough to shift, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to have a long, happy career in real estate, because it is always changing.
That's so true. Roberto, you have accomplished icon status right out the gates. So what has had the biggest impact on you achieving this so quickly?
Thank you. Well, I think it was like the people who are around you. Okay, I'm a part of one of the biggest team in Spanish that we have at EXP. So I believe our coachings are the best. They understood what are the needs for our community, for closing more deals, and to have like a better like market for us. For example, I specialize in selling Miami, Orlando pre-construction. So there is a lot of market in internationally, right? And EXP, because it's global, we have this opportunity of working with a lot of people from another countries. So we have a big market there that they want to invest here because a lot of things. It depends. Political issues, economic issues, pandemic, whatever. And they see our country as a country with stability, with a lot of opportunities. So we can help those people. What Marta was saying, I agree a lot. I believe that for us as an agent, we have to adapt to the market. We have to shift with the market, and this is a profession that is very, very generous. Before this, I was doing Instacart, Shift, like whatever apps before. So for me, was changed my life, and now I can see the potential to grow here and to make money, and to have a team, and kind of like being a broker without being a broker. So and create a team who work with you, and then you also get benefits because of that. So I believe the EXP, the company, is a great platform that is motivating us not just to sell, but to grow personally and as a team and as a person. That will be.
It's very inspiring. My takeaway from that is, when you were mentioning the international clientele, find your target market and focus on it. Whether for you it's international, or for some of us it might be retiree people relocating to where we live, or military. If you find your target market and you focus on that, it can really be a blessing. Donna, what would you attribute your success? I know that you've been an icon for over 20 years, correct?
Well, I've been in the business for 20 years. I've been an icon with EXP for the last 3 years, and I guess it looks like I'm going to be for this year.
Oh, also. That's right. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I've always been I ended up like Roberto. My first year I worked part-time and made myself retire that job after less than a year so that I could do this full time. And I love the fact that for me, I think it's treating this like a business. I was in corporate America before, and I think for me, it was about having a disciplined schedule and treating it like a business, knowing what time I'm going to be working on making calls, knowing what time I'm going to be going out on appointments, having that discipline and the calendar, especially at that time when I first got into like yours. I was a single mom. I had kids. I was trying to figure things out and work 2 jobs and take care of my kids. And you have to know how you're going to educate yourself and grow. Like Sunny said, always evolve and grow and be a better leader and a better real estate agent, you need to have a plan for your training, whether it's reading books or podcasts, to grow and treat it like a business. So I've got coaching from, before I even did my first transaction, I was involved in coaching so that I knew what to do.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of coaching myself. Segueing into a hot topic over the past few years, leads. How do you track leads, and what systems or system do you use? Sunny, do you want to share with us what you do?
Yes, so I use a combination of system to track lead effectively. The first one is KV Core, which EXP provides us, a CRM, which help me manage and automate interaction with the client. And the second is manually maintaining the Excel sheet, which I do it. And I also have in my home office and the office a whiteboard, which I prioritize in staying contact with clients based on their readiness to buy, sell, or invest. For instance, I focus more on those who are ready to buy within next 60 days, while also keeping in touch with those planning to make a move in next 6 months or even a year. And I ensure that I'm engaging them, at the time of 4th of July, any festival time, I'm sending them some kind of messages, reminding them, hey, I'm here. It's like my slogan is, it's always sunny in California, and it's always sunny, saying you're amazing realtor in California. And sending them why I'm doing that. So there are so many agents, and it's easy to forget, So if lead is not just you are chasing them, but you're reminding them also and telling them that, hey, I remember that you have to buy and everything. This approach allowing me to nurture relationship and keep my client informed, engaged throughout their journey.
That's a great system. Marty, how do you track your leads, and what system do you use?
I am probably the worst one to ask about this. We have changed CRMs a couple of different times. Right now, we use KV Core kind of for unmet leads, for bringing leads in, but for managing our database, I am repeat and referral based. I grew up and live in the area where I predominantly grew up and know a lot of people. So my business is run by repeat and referral. So I like to have a really simple database that doesn't do a ton of automated stuff, because everything that we're sending out are to people that I know, like, and trust, and they know, like, and trust me. So we just moved to Follow Up Boss, kind of working through that. I'll be honest, I don't love tons of automation. I like a little bit of it to make my life easier, but I like to control what's going out to people. So a lot of the automated stuff I'm not wild about. And that's just because, we will send out events and touches and things that we create internally. And I won't lie, I'm super old school, you guys. I still have yellow notebooks. My sisters and my husband make fun of me, but they always turn on, and I can always find the data. So I do have kind of a backup where I keep yellow notepads for who I'm working with currently. We do back it up with our digital system, but working with repeat referral and that sort of thing, I just keep a list of who I'm working with, and then mark them off once they're under contract, and that sort of thing. So I am probably not your biggest techie person on this question.
Well, I think a lot of people can identify with that, and my lead system is an opportunity for me to improve as well. So some of what you're saying, I can function in the same way. Roberto, what about you?
I like this question because I think something that it will help everybody, and the people who is new and the people who already have a trajectory, is hiring an assistant. Okay, and I come back to what Donna said. You have to treat this like a business. Okay. We are not just realtors. We have our own business. So you have to hire someone who help you to track those leads. You can also use automated systems. For example, I do campaigns through Facebook ads to all the countries. Then as soon as the lead enters, I have Zapier that is like a platform that connects all the applications in the world. So you connect the Zapier, send the lead to your phone, to your CRM, to your email marketing. So as soon as the lead enter, it start receiving my emails, and then I can call them, and then I can track them in the CRM. And also my assistant is like taking notes of their Zoom meetings that we have. She enters. So that's how we do it, how our coaches they teach us. But for everybody is different. But I believe that starting with an assistant is the best way to help you to grow your business. Definitely, and also with the automatic system, Zapier, it's an amazing platform that connects everything. So as soon as they enter the lead, you receive a text message saying that you have a new lead, so you can call him immediately, and that will reduce the time that probably the person. Otherwise, if you call him in 2 days, 3 days, maybe he's not going to remember. Even
That's true. That's true. It's a drop the fork mentality. When a lead comes in, if you don't respond to it right away, you're probably going to lose them. And the automation system that you're using, is it Zapier? I've never heard of this before,
Yeah.
so I'm taking some notes while you're talking.
Zapier,
Okay.
and it's easy. Is you don't have to do it. You can pay. You can enter to Fiverr.com and find someone who do the automation for you. You pay. So because if you want to learn how to do it, it will take you a lot of time. Trying something that I can share with everybody here, or with someone who is listening. Don't try to learn yourself. There are people who knows better than you, and we have to think how much my hour cost, right? So if probably for learning this step is going to take me, I don't know, 5 hours. In those 5 hours of my time, I could be calling people to finding more deals. So I will be more productive if I find one client in those 5 hours, that if I save, I don't know, $50 for not paying someone to do it.
That's well said. Donna, how about you? What about your lead tracking system, and how are you tracking them, on your day-to-day business?
First of all, Roberto, you're one of my people, because I can say 100% I agree with what you're saying. Your highest and best use of what you need to do. I feel like today you can't just be a great real estate agent. You almost have to be a media person as well. There's lots of different parts of being a real estate to be competitive. I agree, Marty. I love having my past clients and people, but I also have leads that come in from Google Pay-Per-Click, from Zillow, from Veterans United, from UpNest, from Fast Expert, and having a Zap or Zapier or something that can help you integrate into your CRM. I had started with the whiteboard back in the day, whiteboard, Excel sheet, and then I moved to Follow Up Boss. And as I had a team, and I wanted a website that had better conversion, I ended up going to Sierra Interactive. And then I moved to EXP, which I didn't, KV Core was part of it. So I did not move my team off of Sierra Interactive. We stayed with that program, which has a lot of automations and capabilities. And I use KV Core for, frankly, I put agents that I would, if there are people that I want to talk to come over to the brokerage or to the team, I use that database for agent information, and I use Sierra for my lead generation. So we have Sierra Interactive, and then the accounting software, the two big ones are CTE and Sisu, SISU. We use Sisu with the dashboard for tracking all of our transactions, the ROI, phone calls made, everything is tracked in there. So that's what we do. And I agree. Assistant. Oh my gosh. I've had VAs in the Philippines with Summit VAs where the leads would come in and they would take care of whether it's signing someone up for a newsletter and having a zap that automatically happened to listening to phone calls for me and helping. Having an assistant doubled my business. The first year I brought on an assistant, my business doubled because it freed me up to do the things that were money generating activities.
Well, that brings us into the next question about delegating and leveraging. I know you and Roberto have touched on that. So, Sunny, if you'd like to share with us, how are you delegating and leveraging to create business efficiency?
This is an amazing question, and I love it because delegating and leveraging are crucial for business and effective business, especially when you are busy. It's important to manage your time by determining what tasks you require your direct attention and what can be delegated. For example, once I bring a transaction in escrow, I delegate the management of that transaction to my transaction coordinator. They handle the details from there unless there's an urgent situation that need my involvement. However, always staying in touch and keeping an eye on the transaction progress to ensure everything is on track. This allows me to focus on generating new business, and delegation is very important. Otherwise, especially in my profession where still I have other hat I'm wearing. So delegation is the key. Otherwise, I cannot run or I will be working nonstop 18, 19 hours.
Absolutely. Marty, what about you? How are you delegating?
So yeah, delegation is huge, and I am a mother of three. I have a senior, a freshman, and a kindergartner. So we have all the things going on at our house. But one thing I have learned over the years is, and especially if you're new in the business, and you're doing everything yourself, I would quickly work towards your admin. That is the biggest help I feel like, is having a really strong admin. Or at least delegating out that contract to close to a really solid person. I think that's first step in delegation, and that's the first thing that we did. The second thing that I feel like is really helpful that we have done over the years is just having a handful of collaborative agents, whether they're on your team or whether it's just, hey, I help you, you help me, to have somebody to relieve you so that you don't have to miss out on things with family and important time for yourself. This is something that this business can really do. It can eat you up if you let it. And I have been there and done that, where you just get to the end of your rope. So quickly try to connect or network with other agents that you guys can say, hey, I'm going to be on vacation for a week. Do you mind covering for me? And then I'll cover for you. And then as you get further into the business, adding teammates, that you can help, or a showing assistant or just a licensed assistant, I think is super duper helpful. I stage all my listings. So I have a whole staging piece that I do, and having almost like a personal assistant to help with things of that nature have been very, very helpful for us over the years as well. But delegation is huge. Otherwise you will burn out very, very quickly, and you have to figure out on the front end what you feel comfortable delegating and what you don't. And then kind of go from there.
That's good advice, because, the moment you take a vacation, you get 3 offers while you're on the plane. So it always seems to happen that way. Roberto, how are you delegating?
Well, I think I'm trying to delegate everything. How I put it, I'm focusing 3 things that will grow my business. Conversations. I specialize like studying the market, studying the buildings that I'm going to sell. Specialize in. I want to specialize in, for example, in Brickell or in Miami Beach. So learning about that area. And creating content, right? That's the 3 main things that I develop, because that's what it will get me more clients. Okay, and the second presentation via Zoom, like trying to apply the closing techniques, objections, learning all of that. That's the main thing that I have to do. Everything else, I delegated. I have a transaction coordinator. I have my assistant. I have the person who does my campaigns. I have the person who handle my social media. I don't edit. I don't do nothing of that because that's a lot of time that I cannot like not waste, but that I can be more productive doing other stuff.
Well, obviously, it's working very well for you. Donna, I know you touched on some of the things that you're doing to delegate and leverage. Do you care to share anything else with us before we move on to the next question?
No, I think as you grow, as Roberta was saying, and you have someone helping you with marketing or transaction coordination, or I mean, I want to keep my finger in the pot and have the listings be like I want them to look for. But I think once you set up an SOP, standard operating procedure for how you do things and how you like things, and then you can have someone at least get things going for you, get things started for you so that you can go out and talk to the people that you need to talk to. So yeah, just your highest and best use, and cross-training your people so that everyone can fill in when you do go on vacation, or if there's something happens, everybody knows what needs to happen when you have a plan in place.
Yes, it's very important. So that brings us to mentorships and, kind of getting out and mentoring other agents. And I'm curious what we're all doing to mentor in our areas that we are focused in. Sunny, do you mentor at all?
Yes, ma'am. And mentorship is a critical in developing our business. And I firmly believe that a true leader creates leaders, not followers. It's important to leave a lasting impact on the world. That's why I make a point to mentor and motivate agents. The biggest advice I share with them to trust themselves and dream big. When you dream high, you set the stage for what you can achieve. I follow principle, I call it 3 W's. Number one is first you need to wish, you need to dream, set your goals and visualize that what you want to achieve. Then work hard, and there's no substitute for working hard. Finally, when you do these 2 things, there is a win. When you stay committed to these principles, success will follow. I always remind them that there is no shortcut in life or a business. Success is a result of consistent hard work and dedication. And that this is the core message I impact when mentoring others.
I love that. So you wish, you work hard, and you win. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Marty,
3 W's: wish, work, and win.
Love it. Marty, what advice do you have and what do you share when you're mentoring?
So I've mentored quite a few agents over the years. And one of the biggest things that I always tell them at the beginning when they're starting out is one of my big rules was never figure a commission. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, don't go in and be like, oh, this person's going to buy an X dollar amount house. I'm going to make X, because at that very moment, you start focusing on what you are going to get out of the transaction, and you forget why you were there, and that is to help your client. And so I tell them always stay client focused. At the end of the day, if you do your job and you do it well, you're going to get compensated. But that cannot be the first thing you think of, the first thing you look at, or the only reason you are in this business. Because if you do, you will not be wildly successful. So that's like the number one rule that I give all the people that I mentor, is that we are in a service industry and we are here to serve others. Our number one goal needs to be to take care of our client. And if you show them 2 houses or 20 houses, or they buy in 2 minutes or 2 years, you have to be focused on what's the best for the client. And if you do that, they will tell others, and they will tell others, and they will tell others, and you will be their gal or their guy for life. And that will keep you in the business long term. You've always got to think about and remember why you're in this industry and who you serve.
Martin, I think you're a testimony to that because you've mentioned your repeat and referral business, and that comes from that type of a focus. Roberto, what type of advice do you have when you're mentoring others?
Well, I believe that trying to, for me, because I'm pretty new, I haven't had the opportunity to mentor too many people or like add a lot of value, but I always in constant training. I'm paying for coaches that who know more than me. I'm paying for access to people who usually I don't have access to, like great minds. I pay for. I think the key here is to try to have access to people who knows more than you, and try to always be in a place that you are the one who knows the less. Okay.
What would you say is the best advice you've been given then from people that have mentored you?
For them is that one. That is one of the best advices that they told me, and they our coaches they always say the same. You have to pay for access. You have to pay to someone who coach you, who make you a better real estate agent. You have to learn from the best ones. So sometimes to have access to those peoples, you need to invest in yourself. Maybe you have to pay a mastermind. You have to go to the EXP conference and introduce yourself, trying to be in the same place that all of these great minds and great professionals that you admire, they attend, so you can hear from them, talk with them, and trying to take the best of them, so you become one of them too. For me, that's the best advice. Try to get access to people who knows more than you.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And if you are from an experience level where you can mentor, then, maybe reaching out to an agent that you're doing a deal with that you can tell is struggling and just offer to have a cup of coffee with. That's a great way to kind of spread that, in your market.
Janet, and something that I also learned, a great way to mentor, and something that Marty said, is that don't think about the commission. Sometimes, if you have someone in your team, probably you want to help them to grow, want to learn. Okay, take one of your clients and share the client with them, and let them have I don't know, half of the commission, and you will also win, and they also win too, but they learn. So sometimes we have to disconnect from the money. I know it's very hard, and every person is different, but for me it's better like to have like volume. Okay, and I believe that the most successful realtors, that they close 100, 200 houses a year, they do it with their team. They share, so they don't do it themselves. And this is an industry that is very solo, and nobody share anything. So my advice is share with your team, share with other people, and in that way everybody is getting something and more learning about what they do or how they do it.
That's great advice. Donna, if you have mentored folks over the years, what do you think the biggest advice you have when you're mentoring is?
I think, we mentor, obviously, I have team members, so I want to mentor them and teach them how to grow. And like Sunny said, leaders create more leaders. I want them to be able to grow and lead their own and be on their own if that's what they want to do. So I think setting an example for me is setting the example and walking the walk, that discipline part, showing them when You say, this is the follow-up you need to do. This is how you need to go out and be professional, and inviting them to things, inviting them to, if you're going to do a listing presentation, so they can be there and watch, practicing with them, working on that objection handling so they can understand how to do things. I think just sharing what you've got going on and sharing with others, you can invite them to things. And by inviting them to things, they will learn and grow with you.
That's great advice. You know, as we're going into a new era in the industry, we touched on this in the beginning. I'm curious about what one piece of advice that we all could share with those who are listening to be successful in the months ahead in this new horizon that we're, you know, looking at now. Sunny, what would you give as a piece of advice moving forward in our industry?
I would say having a clear mindset and purpose. Understand that you are here in this world for a reason, and there's always something you can achieve if you truly put your mind and heart into it. When your mind and heart in the right place, nothing in the world can stop you. Whether you are doing real estate, whether you're doing anything in life, most of the time we stumble when we lose focus or when our goals are unclear. It's essential to be crystal clear what you are here, why you are here, and what are you doing. What is your purpose is. When you have clear goal in life, everything else fall into place. You know that what time you have to wake up, what step you have to take, and how to approach each day. One practical tip I always recommend is to set your goal for the next day, the night before. Write them down, and I actually also, after writing it down, visualize that is done. Like suppose I'm meeting a client listing appointment. So I'm actually thinking that I have to call my sign guy to place a sign there. I have to call my photographer before even the listing has been signed. This simple practice helps align our mind and our objective and making it easier to track and achieve any goal in life, in business. So clarity, guys. Be clear.
That's great. That's great advice. I always talk about claiming things. And, you know, if I have a listing and we've had some great showing activity, I just call my clients and say, we're going to claim this. We're going to have you under contract by this weekend. And I think that mindset is so critical in what we can even manifest in our own businesses. Marty, what type of advice would you have for those who are listening about being successful in the months ahead?
My advice, as always, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, is stay focused on your goals. Know what it is that you're going after, know what it is that you want to achieve, and stay wildly focused on that. My most successful months and times in real estate over the years are when I was wildly focused on what I wanted. And if it was to do a certain number of transactions or whatever that looked like, that is what I focused on, and I stayed laser beam focused on it. Everywhere I went, that's what I was thinking about. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was doing. And, you know, the old saying of what you focus on expands works. And I think a lot of it is in our head, you know, so put good things in and good things come out. You know, shut down the noise. There's just a lot of negativity in the world in general. Shut out the noise. Focused on being good and kind and helping others. And if you will focus on your goals, you will achieve them. They will happen. You just have to not let, you know, the noise from the world get in your way.
I agree. And I think it's important to focus on the fun. You know, this is a really fun industry to work in, and we get an opportunity to bring so much joy to people's lives. And if we focus on the fun and we bring that energy to those who we work with, it can make such a difference. And you know, you can't fake that. So I've always found, you know, that to be very helpful. Roberto, how have you kind of focused on that? What advice would you give for those who are, you know, listening?
Janet, what you said is everything. You have to have fun because the game is infinite. okay? And everything what we achieve today is borrowed, right? You already sold that. Now you have to keep looking for more and more and more and maintain everything. So for me is to be successful in the months ahead, you have to prepare yourself. Appreciate that we have one of the best brokers that they think about us and they are preparing themselves to train us and how to manage all of these changes. So try to prepare yourself. Uh, Motivation is not enough. Motivation, some days you are motivated, sometimes some days you are not. So I believe you have to have the motivation, but motivation without action, you will not make it. You have to action, action, and action. You have to go for it. There is a lot of people who want to be great here, but they stay on the sidelines. No, you have to go and learn yourself uh, all the tools that EXP has. Every time that we enter here to the world, you have like 6 or 7 brokers available to you, and other people from transactions. Everybody willing to teach you how to do it. So for everybody who is listening, just take advantage of the tools that you have in this broker and action. That would be
Absolutely. And we've got some great trainings ahead too. I was listening to the meeting before. Donna, what would you share with us about success in the future?
I'm going to piggyback on what Marty said with a little slight shift also, but it's your mindset, positivity. You got to stay away from the stinking thinking people, right? You want positivity and focus on your goals. Focus on what it was that you set out to do and what the steps are to do there. But really, like, filling your brain, there's enough negative stuff out there in the world. You just don't need to sit there and be immersed in it. I just pull myself out and try to be as positive as I can and do what I can do to move the needle.
It's interesting that you share that, because I was going through some different quotes this morning and trying to, feel inspired about something to share with everyone today. And I wrote down, give light and people will find the way. And that's by Ella Baker. And I think that's just a really great way that we can approach our businesses and inspire others and lead with success in the coming year.
Agreed.
Does anybody else have anything else they want to share with our audience today? Everyone's done such a great job. Thank you, Sunny, Marty, Roberto, and Donna. You all are just such an inspiration.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for moderating.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you so much. And I always want to end this with the message that spread happiness, spread kindness, and don't forget to dance.
Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you all for being on the panel today. You were all just epic. I will see some of you back here next week. Roberto, Sunny, I'll see you next week. Jeanette, you are amazing. If you are watching this on YouTube, smash that like button. We are here every Friday, every week at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time.